welcome to another exciting edition of Best MTG Decks Ever. I'm your host, Joseph. This is a Machete, and today we are going over a deck that is Hidetsugu and Kairi. All right, and I like to combine these names together to just make Hideri. Hidetsugu and Kairi. Hideri. All right. So, without any more ceremony on the name, let's just run the deck so I can tell you how it works. All right. So, actually, before we get into running the actual deck, I'll just do like a quick rundown on what this deck is comprised of. Okay. So we're in dimir. So we're running the regular Thassa's Oracle. Along with Tainted Pact and Democon. So, and then we have tons of control stuff, tons of zero cost counter spells, other counter spells, ways to get rid of stacks pieces, more counter spells, removing stacks pieces. Removing stacks. So, one of the things that's unique to this deck is we're running a lot of things that copy creatures. Okay, so for Cackling Counterpart is an example of one. Put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target creature you control. The reason why we do that is because Hideri has this. When Hideri enters the battlefield, you'll draw 3 cards. Then you can put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Then when Hideri dies, exile the top card of your library. Target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. If it's an instant or a sorcery, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. So, because it's a legendary, when we make a copy of it, the token comes onto the battlefield, we get the ETB, then it will instantly die, causing the death trigger, okay? So it ETBs, we draw 3, we put 2 onto the deck, it dies, and then we'll get to cast something from the top. So there are 3 spells that we're looking for in order to cast that. We're looking for Behold the Beyond. This says, discard your hand, search your library for 3 cards, and put those cards into your hand, then shuffle your library. So in this case, what you would want to do with Behold the Beyond is you would grab Enter the Infinite, some sort of zero cost counter spell like Force of Pact of Negation or Fierce Guardianship, if they're still there. And then you would also grab something like Phantasmal Image. Because what you would do is you would use Phantasmal Image to copy your commander, which would cause you to draw 3 cards and put two cards back onto the library. Hopefully, you'll be able to get another counter spell of some sort, and then you'll put Enter the Infinite back onto your library. You'll get to cast that, which will call you to draw your entire deck, and then at that point, you'll drop all your mana rocks, cast any ramping spells, and then do Thassa's Oracle for the win. Likewise, we can also peer into the Abyss, which would have us draw half our deck. And then at that point, what we're doing is we're hoping to get a bunch of mana rocks that we can get out there, a bunch of ramp spells so we can ramp up and get more mana, and then we would want to either tutor or play something like Demonic Consultation or Tainted Pact in order to get rid of our deck and then cast Thassa's Oracle. Okay? Simple. That's all that we do. So, let's run a sample game. Okay? So, I actually constructed this hand personally before we got this going so that you could see like how quick it can be. Now it's not the fastest deck. It really, like it can turn one, But that's very rare, and any dimir deck could technically turn one if you've got Demonic Consultation and Thassa's Oracle in your opening hand with the right ramp and stuff. So, but one of the best cards in the deck is Jeweled Lotus. Jeweled Lotus is going to allow us to play our commander relatively fast, and that's basically what we want to do. So, turn one, we draw. We would play these two Mana Rocks. We will play a Polluted Delta, crack it, get an Underground Sea onto the board, close and shuffle that. And then we would crack all these for 5 mana of all the proper colors, which brings Hidetsugu onto the board. And then we would draw 3. And then we put 2 onto the top of the deck. So what we would want to do in this case is we would do... I guess we would put this land and then this. So essentially, like, what we're doing is by putting that copy spell on there, just in case there's a board wipe or something that happens after we pass turn, we'll get that from the death trigger on Hidetsugu, which will allow us to copy it, which will allow us to copy him, which will allow us to do the whole thing again, and then we'll be able to cast Enter the Infinite. It's just kind of like a little way to give us some insurance when we pass turn. So we pass turn, go to our next turn, drop in a land, tap, tap. Then we play Phantasmal Image, which comes into play as Hidetsugu. That will go to the graveyard. We draw 3, and then we can put 2 back onto the... we would do that, and then Enter the Infinite. So the death trigger happens, Enter the Infinite comes out there. Then we would draw our entire deck, play all of our mana rocks, play any ramp spells that we need, just enough so that we can cast Thassa's Oracle and win. Turn 2. Boom. All right. Now, it doesn't always turn out as beautifully as that does. So let's just run some random hands. And okay, so with Hidetsugu, it's always important that you are able to produce 2 blue at least. So this... Oh, you know what? I actually took that out. We need to refresh, because that actually shouldn't be in there. Now we're running with something different. So let me refresh the screen. I had actually taken out the extra turn spells, and yes, they are gone. So, boom, boom, boom. Here we are. So we would mulligan this because we've got 1 land and practically no ramp. I mean, this is ramp, but so like Cabal Ritual and Dark Ritual are only good if you can produce 2 blue mana, because what all we're trying to do is cast our commander as fast as possible. Okay, so we will mulligan that, and here we are. Okay, so we'll keep this. All right, so we'll draw for turn. We get to play Gemstone Caverns. We get to play Cavern of Souls. We'll tap both, casting Grim Monolith, and then we will do we want Mindstone or do we want Grim? Yes, we're going to go with Grim Monolith. That's going to allow us to turn to our commander, okay? So next turn, boom, we do this. We play this out here. So Cavern of Souls, yeah, when we call the creature type, we would call either Ogre, Demon, or Dragon, whatever. All right, so now we've got 2 blue. So tap, tap for the 2 blue. And then we tap this and then this. So we're going to have 1 colorless floating. And this one was for a black. We lose 1 life. And our commander enters the battlefield. We then draw, draw, draw. And we will put back. So in this case, you would have to assess what's going on. Like if for some strange reason your opponent's graveyards are getting full by this point, which they probably aren't, you might want to go with Mnemonic next turn. This is not going to untap. And then we will... we're going to put in Right of Replication because this is going to be our insurance policy. So like I said, if this dies, Right of Replication is going to get played. Oh no, wait, wait, wait. If it dies, there won't even be anything for it to copy. That's right. Yeah, so it doesn't even matter. I guess I hadn't thought that all the way through. Um, all right, so then we would go to turn 3, and we will play the island. So we want to figure out a way to win right now. We might not be able to win this turn. That's the only sad thing. If see, if we had any tutor that wasn't 3 mana, we win. So we can either... I'm trying to think, man. Because this, I cast this. Yeah, so if I do any of the tutors, I won't have 2 mana left over to cast this to win. So I think our turn 3 is just a setup turn. That's all it's going to be, which means we would tap all these. I lose 1 life for that 1 land, and we play a Mana Rock, and then we play a Wish Claw. This is setting us up for turn 4 win. So then turn 4 win involves we tap 1 colorless, we tap this, we get Enter the Infinite into our hand, we close that, we tap, tap, we play Phantasmal Image, it copies him, we draw, draw, draw. Then we'll put back that and then Enter the Infinite. This will die. Then we'll play Enter the Infinite and then win. Okay. All right, let's try that again. So a lot of times when I sim this, I'm winning around turn 4. Sometimes it's 3. But a lot more often it's around turn 4, and it just depends on the hand composition. Okay, so this is a very good hand. So we would keep this. We've got a way to copy. We've got a way to get Enter the Infinite. We've got a way to get the commander out there relatively quickly. So we draw. We will cast this for paying life. This will go into the graveyard. You will look at the hand of one of the blue players, and then we draw a card. And then I will crack that. We lose another life. We view our library. We'll get an Underground Sea. We play that. We close it. And then we play our Jeweled Lotus. We play our Monocrypt. And then we tap for black, crack this for 3 blue. We'll tap this for 2 colorless. So we're going to have 1 colorless floating left over. We will cast our commander. We draw, draw, draw. And then we will so we're going to cast Sensei's Divining Top. With the floating colorless. I got to put back 2 cards. We will put back that land and that land. Okay, so this was our turn 1. Pretty dang good. We will go to our next turn. Okay, so with Limdul's Vault, I'm not gonna actually sim out Limdul's Vault because it's crazy trying to do that with the way that the mechanics are in here. But essentially, what I believe that we could do is we crack that. We go get an island. We tap. We copy commander, draw, draw, draw. We'll put back that and then Limdul's Vault, which will allow us to cast Limdul's Vault. And then at that point, what we're going to then we're going to use Limdul's Vault to pay life and filter through our deck and get Enter the Infinite. And then on the next turn, we would Phantasmal Image, boom, Enter the Infinite, pff, get our whole deck, cast all of our stuff, ramp up, and do Thassa's Oracle and win. All right. So we'll do one more. This will be the last one. So this is a bad hand. But it's also kind of good. So whenever you get Phantasmal Image, you can activate your commander for 2 mana, which is pretty decent. We've got Demonic Tutor, and so I think in this case we would Demonic Tutor a Jeweled Lotus. So turn 2, Demonic Tutor, get Jeweled Lotus, turn 3. Okay, so let's just run this out. All right, so I will draw for turn. I will play. Okay, that even helps even more. Do I play that as a blue mana? These will provide 2 blue. I mean, since we've got this, do we even have to? Oh man, this is... So the question is, do I play a land that I can tap this turn to get out Mana Vault, which... Yeah, that still won't let us turn 2. So I believe we'll put this out there, and it'll just be a blue. It comes into play tapped, and it looks like seemingly it would be a bad turn 1, but I think we still have some goodies to do. So next turn, we would play one of these. Let's just say one of our opponents has black. We tap tap. We play Demonic Tutor. We get Enter the Infinite. Oh, wait. Do we get Enter the Infinite? Yes, we get Enter the Infinite. We don't get Jewel Lotus in this case because, yeah, this is the right play. All right, so then we are on turn 3. We play this. We've got some counter spells, so we would be counter spelling, trying to stop anybody else from winning. We would cast that. We would cast that. And we would take a damage from that. And then we would activate Sensei's Divining Top, looking at the top 3 cards. And then we would put them back so that we get Tainted Pact on top. Actually, we would want... Okay, so we put those cards back like that. And then we get to the next turn. And so now we've got a bunch of counter spells. And we've got our 2 activation pieces. So we would do 1 black, 2 blue, and then this. We would cast Hidetsugu, draw. And then we put back just rando, and then Enter the Infinite. And so we still have to wait. So this is one of those turn 5s. This one did not end up turning out like anything special, but we had counter spells. So this one would just be a little bit slower. Yeah, it was a questionable hand. I probably should have mulliganed that. So that's the weakness of this deck, is that you have to mulligan aggressively. It can win relatively quick. It's got a strong win con, but at the same time, it can definitely flounder on opening hands. So that is Hidetsugu.